What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another Classic WoW video for, well, Classic WoW. This video is going to be a little bit different than my usual videos. It is not going to be about gold making, it's going to be about both Cataclysm and Season of Discovery in the same video. I'm also recording this from the Mists of Pandaria remix event, so that's also different. It's the first video that I do where I'm recording from here, but I really have been having fun playing the Mists of Pandaria remix very casually recently, and if you haven't tried it out, well, consider giving it a try. It's obviously a mix between MOP and retail, but personally I've really been enjoying it. It's not going to be for everyone, and that's fine, but give it a try, see if you like it, and if you do, that's perfect. Either way, let's talk about Season of Discovery and Cataclysm by the numbers, and we can pull up some numbers here as well, take a look at how many people are playing. Now the thing is, we're going to be taking a look at the raiding numbers here. So we have Ironforge.pro supplying us with some information for these servers. So going over to Ironforge.pro right here, we can see the numbers for Cataclysm when it comes to raiding this week. And overall you can see 209,000 people, and we have 92,000 being Alliance players and 117,000 being Horde. A little bit more Horde than Alliance. And for the top servers, obviously we have Gehennas and Pharma on the EU side, then we have Benediction and Felina on the US side, the technically PvP servers, but I mean they're 99.99% one faction only, so they're PvP, but are they really PvP? Either way, those are the big servers to be on for raiding and for like anything really, and it's no surprise these are the most popular ones for raids as well. Now the server that I'm on for raiding is Private Village, all the way down here, with 5.8k active people raiding according to the logs. Meanwhile, Pharma has 4 times that many people. Either way, we also have a couple of more interesting things here. We can take a look at how the chart has been moving, because this one right here only really shows you the numbers as of this week, but doesn't really compare it to anything. That being said, here with this chart, we can compare it to what this means. Is Cataclysm popular? Is it not popular? What does this mean for the future? Well, first of all, we can see a huge bump from the last week of Wrath until Cataclysm. That makes sense, because the last week of Wrath nobody was doing anything anyway, no raiding was being done, and even this week, this one right here, yeah, this is the last week of Wrath, right? May 15th to May 21st. So last week of Wrath, first week of Cata. This is the first reset of Cata though, with the raids being available and everything right here, from May 29th to the 4th of June. Now, we can take a look at this. There's 209,000 people. That is on par with ICC back in February. So ICC back in February, January and December. Well, February and January mostly, and even December, and all the way back here, like December, January. So December, January and February of ICC, the current hype we have for Cataclysm is the same as we had for ICC, and yeah, for ICC back in February, January and December. Obviously not as hype as the peak, because as you can see over here, we had several months of 400,000 people. Pretty much every single week for several months. If we count here, that's about 11 to 7, so almost half a year of 400,000 people actively raid logging, or like logging their raids. Meanwhile now we have half of that population. Now this is only the first week, and I do believe we can see this chart or these numbers going up a couple of weeks from here, because that is typically what we see. Over here, for example, we had the shift from TBC or from Classic WoW into TBC Classic, and the first week we had barely anyone, like we had a big spike in people that are actively logging their raids. Second week we had even more, third week even more, so it's growing on a week by week basis. The same thing happened in Classic WoW, it happened in every single phase as well, it growed week by week, and the same thing happened when Wrath came out as well, growed week by week. for a couple of weeks at least until it starts going down, so the hype builds itself up over time. And the same thing probably is going to happen in Cataclysm as well, where we might see a little bit more people next week and a little bit more the week after that. So realistically, you would want to see an update to this video or like to charts like this after about 3 weeks from now and see if the chart is moving up or down. The thing about Cataclysm that is interesting to me is that as Phase 4 comes out for Season of Discovery, I think a lot of people, not a lot, but like a decent chunk of people will be shifting from Cataclysm to Season of Discovery. So the chart for Cataclysm might be moving a little bit differently than the charts for Classic WoW, TBC and Wrath, for example, because we do have a symbiotic relationship between Cataclysm and Season of Discovery, where we have quite a few people jumping back and forth. So as the hype for Season of Discovery goes up, Cataclysm goes down, and vice versa. As the hype for SOD goes down, Cataclysm goes up again. So it's all going to be on a phasing basis. But it would be really fun to see how these charts are moving in a couple of weeks. I think as of right now, I'm actually kind of impressed with Cataclysm and the performance so far. And judging by what's happened in the past, this number should keep going up. And I can see us we were having 200,000 right now, like going back here, 209,000. Making a prediction here, I would say 250k next week and 300k in the week after that, assuming Phase 4 of SOD is still not out. So 209 now, 250 next week, and 300k in the week after that, and 300k might be the peak, at least until Firelands or something. I still believe that Firelands will be way more popular than Phase 1, but time will tell. Now I also wanted to take a look at the Season of Discovery numbers here, and here they are, and these are the current numbers for Season of Discovery, or this is like the comparison chart, where we can see how these numbers have been going up and down as the phases have been progressing. So this chart dates all the way back to the end of last year, basically. So we have the whole movement so far, the last 6 months, and we can see we have gone from having a peak of 496,000 people logging their raids. Now I say that, but like one person can count as 10 here if they're raiding on 10 different characters, but we have 496,000 different characters logging their raids. Meanwhile, at the moment, last reset, we had 61,500. I kind of want to relate this back to the Classic WoW chart. For the Classic WoW chart, we have 61,500 people last reset, 61.5. Going back to the Classic WoW chart, that is almost as low as the last week possible of Wrath / the first week of TBC, not TBC but Cataclysm, or it's lower than this week right here, which was like the last week of Classic WoW and the first week of TBC, and it's almost lower. It's almost the lowest we've ever seen. It's the third lowest point we have ever seen. Yeah, the third or fourth lowest point we have ever seen in Classic WoW history when it comes to active people that are logging their raids. That is ridiculous, and the drop-off has been insane. Phase 3 has not done Season of Discovery any favors, and I'm gonna have a separate video talking about this, but Phase 4, in my opinion, is a massive make or break. I'm gonna go more into why that is, but Phase 4 has to be good. It has to be absolutely insanely good. Otherwise, like, these numbers, they're not looking good. They're really not looking good, and I feel like Blizzard made so many mistakes along the way, especially in Phase 3, but they've been setting themselves up for failure ever since Phase 1, starting off with 10-man raids, for example, and having people focus their recruiting and forming their guilds and raid teams around 10-man content, and then hard swapping to 20-man content without any way to keep 10-man content relevant was a massive blunder. It killed so many guilds, and it killed the fun of raiding as well. well, because you formed your groups and your raid teams and your friendships based on that 10-man party, and now suddenly you have to have 20-man parties instead, and there's no 10-man alternative, which was really weird. Once again, I'm going to have a full video talking more about what I want from Phase 4 in that, and talking more about SOD in general, but I wanted to talk about that in this video as well, show you the numbers for Season of Discovery. Now, we will have ramping news for SOD coming this week, so that's going to be fun to see. I can't wait to see what the news are. Probably going to be some PTRs for Phase 4, and maybe even a release date for Phase 4. Agrand has talked about this on Twitter, that there will be more news coming, and ramping news as well, so we can expect to see more than once per week. They're probably going to talk way more about SOD now and Phase 4, which is going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. Either way, I wanted to make a video today talking about the numbers here, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a comment down below, leave a like down below as well. Let me know in the comments what you think made the Season of Discovery numbers go down this much. I would love to hear your input on this. Either way, that's it for me for today. I have a raid to do, so thank you for watching as always. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon.